It's very serious.
No, I didn't think we would get to this point.
I'm here to get some water.
In the cold now. Let me see, what's the temperature? 30 degrees. You get some water.
It's horrible. You know, I used to get up in the morning, take a shower, couldn't do that. I got a little bottle of water just to sprinkle on me to clean myself up.
I need drinkable water, water to bathe, water to cook. You don't realize how much you use water until you think about it.
Probably the most important thing that you need on a daily basis other than like shelter.
How long is it going to take?
When can we get it water?
Grateful, thank Richmond City for these, but like I said, we don't know how long it's going to be out.
So it's affecting everybody.
I mean, everybody needs water, you know, it's essential.
Tonight, thousands still have little to no water across the greater Richmond area as the restoration process has hit another roadblock. Welcome to the CBS 6 News at 11. I'm Julie Bragg.
And I'm GeNienne Samuels. We have team coverage including how those outside of the city are being impacted and the latest on an investigation by the state. But first, I'm anchoring our coverage from our station's kitchen where, as you can see, there is not even a drop of water coming from this faucet. And that's the same for all of the other faucets in the building. There were hopes, though, that water would be restored by now, but it's not. Here's the latest from the city. This afternoon, computer systems came back online and water flow and pumping activity resumed at Richmond's water treatment plant. However, an electric panel then failed. This malfunction delayed water being restored. Now, while local and state experts are assisting to get the plant back into service, no expected restoration date or time was provided by the city. As of now, Richmond residents have low pressure or no water at all, like us here, and there is a water boil advisory in effect. In addition, water service has not been restored to the Capitol. Therefore, state lawmakers will not move forward with day one of the General Assembly. This all began yesterday morning when a battery backup and a redundant system at the City of Richmond's water treatment plant both failed. However, the issues reach beyond the city limits. Now, as you can see right here, pockets of Henrico and Hanover County residents and businesses east of I-95, with the exception of Doswell, lost water service, with others experiencing interruptions. Now, luckily in these counties, the water is not contaminated. However, a water boil advisory is in effect in Hanover, now to the east of I-95. Now, we'll have more on both Henrico and Hanover in just a bit. But first, let's find out how some are doing in Richmond. Thousands of residents are still without running water for yet another night. That includes our Maggi Marshall. She's live now in the fan, where the ongoing water crisis is leaving residents with a mix of emotions, but all searching for solutions. She shares their voices. Maggie?
Hey, GeNienne. Well, there is still no water in my faucet here in the fan. I am one of the thousands of Richmonders that have not had water over the last 24 hours. This crisis is really impacting people in a lot of different ways and bringing up a lot of different emotions as we enter another day dealing with this.
The River City is now without water for a second night.
This is really unacceptable.
I think we need to be more prepared as a city.
Thousands of Richmonders are scrambling to find clean water to drink.
Never have I lived anywhere where, no matter what the level of sophistication of the country was, where you couldn't turn on a faucet and get some water or flush a toilet.
Gene Wilkinson snagged the last box at the store, but said getting it out the door wasn't a given. He says someone tried to steal the water from his cart.
Some man came up and ripped the top of it. They're going to start killing each other over water in this city. I've never seen anything like it, and I just turned 80 years old.
Ronald Rohn also managed to grab a case. He wasn't as stressed finding some.
It's a little inconvenience, but I was prepared for it. I always keep plenty of bottled water on me.
A lesson he hopes the city comes to after getting out of this crisis.
We pay enough taxes to be prepared for those things, so I think we just need to be more prepared. So hopefully this new administration will do something about it now that they're challenged.
However, securing water wasn't as easy for everyone Tuesday.
You have to let them know a day in advance. They just don't come.
Tanya Brooke is disabled and can't drive. She couldn't get to the store or the city's water distribution events.
It's just too much. It's just too much.
She is one of many Richmonders hoping resources expand Wednesday to reach people like her.
When you least expect it, good people reach out and help you when you really, really need it.
And since reaching out to the city about Miss Brooks, they are encouraging anyone that is not able to access water to call their 311 number or 804-646-7000 to be put on a distribution list. I am happy to say we were able to provide a few bottles to Miss Brooks for tonight and connect her to some more resources. Live here in Richmond, I'm Maggi Marshall, CBS 6 News.
Every bottle counts. Thank you, Maggie. Now let's head over to Hanover. This afternoon, the county set up 2 water distribution sites, one at Atlee High School and the other at Cold Harbor Elementary. Photojournalist Will Hicks went to Atlee High School to get the voices of volunteers and those lined up, most waiting for more than an hour in hopes of leaving with a daily essential, water.
Hi.
You already loaded up?
Just keep coming.
What we're doing now is we're trying to distribute water to our citizens to make sure that we can get them through the next 12 to 24 hours.
We just tested it before we left and we don't have any water.
Right there is good. And so our biggest thing right now is we need to conserve water.
Get backed up to 295 now.
We decided we were going to walk over and get water instead of drive because of the really long traffic line.
Over 1,600 cases of water have been distributed so far. And we are going through a case of water every 4 minutes.
We ran out of water pretty quick, and then Wegmans came and brought us a truck full.
We worked with Wegmans Distribution and our partners with Virginia Artesian Well out of the eastern part of the county. We called in favors and said, listen, this is what we need, and they stepped up to the plate.
My wife has a kidney problem, so I don't want to take any chances with her drinking bad water.
There are frustrations, there are needs. We're doing our best to get you the information and to provide the services.
Come on, keep going.
It wasn't too bad, it's moving.
Yeah, it's going to be heavy to walk back, but we're prepared to do it.
Everybody's in good spirits. Thank God they can get water, and it's not any worse.
Yeah.
Now, a similar scene was found in eastern Henrico at Fairfield Area Library today. Hundreds of drivers in line making their way to get bottles of water. The water shortage started when Richmond's water treatment plant went down and worsened this morning. There was a water main break in Sandston at a line bringing water into the East End. At least 6 different trucks holding 5,600 gallons of water will be on hand to serve hundreds without running water. The county has declared a state of local emergency as water service is being restored, hopefully by some point tonight. Now, there is a dedicated phone line residents can call to ask questions and obviously report any water issues. That number is on your screen. Now, the water outage is also impacting students with multiple school closures in effect for tomorrow. Let's go to Julie now for an update. Julie?
Yeah, GeNienne, earlier today, Richmond Mayor Danny Avula spoke about the situation and his communication with school superintendent Jason Camrus.
I've had some conversations with Superintendent Camrus. I think they, at least as of our last conversation, felt like it would be difficult for them to open without potable water. We'll continue to see how that unfolds. If there are other ways for them to provide water, but the schools will ultimately have to make a decision whether the restoration of pressure is enough or if the water is still undrinkable.
So here is the list of school closings we have for tomorrow as of now. They include Richmond, Henrico, and Hanover counties. Chesterfield schools will also be closed tomorrow because of road conditions. The water is still good to go in Chesterfield. You can find a full list of closings on our website, WTVR.com. And those who take care of us when we're sick are also dealing with a lack of water. Tonight we learned the Richmond City Health District clinics will be closed tomorrow. That includes the one at 400 East East Carey Street and the Gilpin, Mosby, and Southwood Resource Centers. Our local hospitals are feeling the effects as well. We also just learned tonight that Memorial Regional Medical Center in Hanover has had water service suspended. As for the other Bon Secours hospitals, Richmond Community is sourcing a temporary external water solution and implementing conservation efforts. And after a short stint without water yesterday, St. Mary's in Henrico currently has low water pressure they're conserving as well. In a statement earlier today, Bon Secours said the hospital is on diversion. Transfers are halted. They're discharging patients where appropriate and bringing bottled water for patients and staff. In the city, Retreat Hospital is without water, and HCA Healthcare says they were diverting patients to other hospitals, and we're activating HCA Virginia resources to minimize the impact on patients. As far as VCU Medical Center, a statement reads, VCU Health is focused on the health and safety of its patients. At this time, our Richmond locations are under emergency operations due to the water disruptions, adding that many procedures and appointments have been canceled and will need to be rescheduled. Several VCU clinics were also closed today. And of course, the question on the minds of so many is not only what happened, but why everyone wasn't notified. Tyler Layne explains the factors the state's looking into as their investigation continues.
I'm not doing terribly.
Museum District resident Blair Just is getting by thanks to bottled water he scooped up at the store.
I don't obviously have a shower, but I do have a washcloth and soap and, lots of water, and I'm fine. I can make coffee.
But that doesn't discount his concerns about how the outage happened and how the city handled it. While Mayor Danny Avula initially told the public that water could be restored by 10 p.m. Monday night, that didn't happen.
I'm not expecting the mayor to be a miracle worker, particularly 7 days into office. But I do expect him not to make promises he's not 100% sure he can't keep.
And though the power outage was reported early Monday morning and restored by 9:40 a.m., an alert didn't go out to citizens until 4:30 in the afternoon. Avula says that's because officials thought they could rely on the reserve for longer than they did, but Richmonders were left scrambling with little time to prepare.
At what point do you call the ball and say, wait a minute, the backup systems are going to run out before we get this problem fixed, and then let people know?
When the power went out and there was a loss of pressure, there needs to be notice to the customers and to us, and it needs to be prompt and accurate.
Dwayne Roadcap leads the Virginia Department of Health's Drinking Water Office, which regulates Richmond's plant. He says the communication will be a part of the agency's investigation, as well as why the city's mitigation measures failed.
One of the things that we're looking into is why the fail-safe systems and the redundant systems didn't work, because you shouldn't have this kind of problem.
Simply put, regulations of those backup systems are critical to preventing boil advisories and outages.
Is it safe to assume that there clearly was something that went wrong that needs to be addressed here?
Yeah, I mean, I can cite some regulations where we've got, non-compliance with the regulations. That's part of the reason why we're out there. It's part of the reason we've got a boil water advisory. It's part of the reason why there's no water pressure or insufficient water pressure.
He adds that Richmond's facility is decades old, making it more challenging to operate. Just says that he looks forward to an after-action report and some transparency surrounding how a future crisis can be avoided.
Richmonders have had to cope with a lack of transparency from our city government for a long time. And I think there's a huge chance for Danny Avula to step up here and provide that transparency.
And now we're already going through some past state inspection reports to try and figure out what issues did the city already know about and what was or was not addressed. And as far as any enforcement options for potential violations in this incident, the state says that could range from requiring potential corrective action plans or even monetary penalties. So, of course, we'll see how that ends up developing. Here at the Health Department, I'm Tyler Layne for CBS 6 News.
And to keep up to date with the ongoing water crisis and to see all of our coverage, you can head over to WTVR.com or download the free CBS 6 app.
And of course, we're dealing with all of the water issues, but also a headline was the snow that we got.
Yes, the snow that we got, and there's still some left out there because it's so cold, Zach.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. We are going to have sunshine, so it's helped melt away areas where the cover was thin on some of the roads, but in the grasses where it's covered up and there's no ground showing through, it's going to be sticking around for a while. Let me show you what we have outside right now. It is a cold night. We're already down to 24 here in Richmond. It's also 24 up in Ashland, down to 20 currently in Chester, and 19 degrees up in Orange. We do have a few clouds around. That's actually holding the temperature up a little bit, and once the clouds clear on out of here, the temperature will fall even faster for tonight. Around the region, some clouds, even some snow showers continuing up in parts of Pennsylvania and back into West Virginia, eastern sections of Kentucky. We're not going to see any precipitation until the weekend, and that looks like could be another round of some wintry weather for us. 14 our low temperature for tonight, mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, high of 35 under mostly sunny skies. Northwest wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. That will assure that the wind chill does stay below freezing. All right, about that next storm system, it's on its way. I'll show you what it looks like right now in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Zach. It's pretty beautiful out there where he is in the Backyard Weather Center. And even when water is restored, there's still some work that'll need to be done. Just ahead, what a plumbing expert says you should do immediately once water pressure is back to normal that could save you, get this, thousands of dollars in repairs.
Hey, Reba, what's your favorite thing about a snow day?
Ooh, the hot chocolate, sledding, building a snowman.
Ah, but you know the #1 rule about snow, right?
What's that?
Don't eat yellow snow. What? We have weather dogs. Walter? Snow? It's yellow. It's yellow.
CBS 6 This Morning. Weekdays 4:30 to 7.
CBS 6 Sky Tracker is sponsored by Window World.
As the water hopefully comes back on soon, plumbing experts are warning against just simply turning on your tap when it's back.
That's right. Illya Davis owns Anytime Plumbing. He says this same thing happened about 10 years ago on a smaller scale, though, and they had hundreds of calls about clogged plumbing. That's why he's sharing one tip that he says could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
Instead of turning it on at your kitchen faucet or using anything inside of your house, go to your outside hose bed where your water hose is connected to. Disconnect that water hose and allow that water to run out about 5 minutes from them outside hose beds. Reason being is that's the lowest point and that's the cold water. You want to flush all of that brown stuff out before you come in and turn on your faucet or use anything. Don't flush your toilet.
Now, if you do end up having clogged pipes and need to call a plumber out, Davis says if you're in the city will reimburse you, but flushing your water from the outside before using your sink, washing machine, or toilet could save everybody, and he estimates that could even be millions of dollars.
And it's something you wouldn't even think about because I know I'm testing, like, is the water back on? Is the water back on? But that could harm us and cost us thousands of dollars.
Right.
Great tip. We appreciate that.
Great tip. And, you know, I've brought this up a couple of times, Zach. Even for folks who have water, it is going to be so cold tonight, we might want to think about our pipes, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you ought to let the faucets drip. If your water's running okay, open up the cabinets. If you have some of those pipes that are near external walls, so you can get some heat from the house to kind of filter under there. This is the kind of situation where you'll get frozen pipes where you have back-to-back-to-back nights really cold down in the teens, and then the afternoon highs just do not recover very much at all. It's kind of a cumulative effect. So that is what we're in right now. It is the pipe bursting type of weather. So take care of those pipes. Let's check out what we've done for today. And it's been a cold one. The low was 22. The high was 34. The snow you see out here in the weather garden, it's not going anywhere for a while. Our current temperatures dropped back to 24. we have no wind at this time, just a few clouds overhead, and other temperatures out there, mostly in the 20s. A couple teens, though, 19 in Orange, 19 now in Louisa. Chester is not too far behind, sitting at 20. Let's check the view through our Sky Tracker camera that's located out at Independence Golf Club. A few clouds around there. We do have a cold weather alert for tonight. Now, if you're not familiar with that terminology, this is something new now. It's essentially a wind advisory. It's when temperatures, or the feels like temperature, when you combine the wind in there, is going to be pretty dangerous. We're looking at wind chills 0 to 5 above 0 in all the counties here in blue. Just a little bit north of Richmond, heading up into Caroline and over into the northern neck and parts of the middle peninsula. All right, we still have a few clouds that continue to move through the area right now. Those will move out, though. Quite a few clouds around the region. Some snow showers continue New York, Pennsylvania, back into West Virginia and Ohio. Strong area of high pressure has dropped into the nation's midsection here across the northern plains, the Dakotas, and the cold air continues to filter in on the east side of that. Here's the next storm system developing right now. That will affect us Friday night into Saturday, mainly Saturday, though. Let's look at it hour by hour. This is Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. The system's still developing. Look at the snow here. Northern Texas on into Arkansas, northern sections of Mississippi and Alabama, even North Georgia getting in on the action. And the track of this through Georgia, right along the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, will likely bring us snow initially, maybe a little bit of mixed precipitation as well, and then it will scoot on up the coast. It won't be a very long storm system, but will be enough cold air for some snow. I think we have a pretty good chance of getting 1 inch or a little bit more. I've got our high probability of that. In terms of getting over 3 inches, right now going to stay moderate. All depends on the track of the area of low pressure, and 6 inches plus, I'd say we have a low chance of that. Probably not going to get anything like that. Lows tonight are going to be in the teens, and then highs tomorrow are going to be in the mid-30s. It's going to be another cold day for tomorrow. And there's a look at your forecast. We'll have sunshine initially, and then some clouds will build in the afternoon. It's going to be a cold stretch here. We don't get back into the low 40s until early next week. Just that one storm system there on the horizon. There's your 7-day forecast. A wintry mix likely Saturday.
Dollar Max 6 is sponsored by the law firm of Allen & Allen. The injury attorneys of Allen & Allen are here to fight for compensation for your injuries. Visit allenandallen.com.
Good evening, everyone. College football fans in Central Virginia will be watching this week's playoff semifinals more closely than normal thanks to on-the-field heroics of Atlee's Tyler Warren and Hopewell's Travion Henderson. The two who play for Penn State and Ohio State, respectively, are both big reasons why their teams are 1 win away from playing in the national title game. Warren won the John Mackey Award as the nation's best collegiate tight end and is having one of the best seasons for a player at his position in Penn State history. He has scored multiple ways from multiple positions on the field, just as he did lining up for Matt Gray and the Raiders 4 seasons ago. Henderson won a state title at Hopewell before moving on to Ohio State and enduring injuries and losses to Michigan while putting in one of the best careers the Buckeyes have had. That includes his 66-yard touchdown run against Oregon, the longest such play in Ohio State Bowl history. Each of their communities are celebrating their success, but as good as they are on the field, each player is a better person off the field.
The type of character that he has, the type of person and faith-based commitment that he has, and just he's just a great kid.
I think people would enjoy it, but I think what kind of, puts that nice little bow on top is that everybody knows that, as a person, you probably can't get much better.
You can read more on that story at WTVR.com. Alex Fruth has stepped down as head football coach at Goochland after 7 seasons with the Bulldogs. His teams went 46-25 over that span, including 6 playoff appearances, extending one of the longest playoff streaks in Central Virginia to 20 seasons before they missed the postseason this past year. Goochland will now be looking for just their 3rd head coach since 2001. Sticking in Goochland, native Justin Verlander has reportedly agreed on a 1-year contract with the San Francisco Giants for $15 million. million. This year will be his 20th Major League season, and he leads all active pitchers in wins, strikeouts, and innings pitched. He's coming off one of the worst years of his career, in which he posted an ERA over 8 in his last 7 starts. Verlander will join a projected San Francisco rotation consisting of all former Flying Squirrels, with Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Kyle Harrison, and Hayden Birdsong penciled in preseason. VCU returns home for their first A-10 game at the Siegel Center tomorrow night when they host Fordham. They picked up a road win at Loyola on Saturday thanks to a second-half defensive surge that saw them close out the last 5.5 minutes on a 22-6 run. Head coach Ryan Odom may not fully restore the days of Shaka Smart's havoc, but defensive pressure will need to be a part of his team's identity moving through conference play.
Coming off the St. Bonaventure game, heading into our next game, we wanted to get back to kind of being disruptive, being more disruptive. We did not disrupt enough in that particular game. That doesn't mean you have to get steals or anything like that or force turnovers. It's just the cumulative effect of, pressure and what that does.
Tip off tomorrow at 7. That's the latest from the Toyota Sports Desk.